they're passionate for something they don't know yet.
Okay.
They are excited. They are excited.
I think it's going to be pretty good.
Go embark on this journey.
And you're saying maybe one thing for the next 8 minutes, and you have to find new ways to make that interesting.
Like somebody who can't swim and is being thrown into deep water, you know. First of all, the choice of an opera is always determined by what kind of students do we have. What can they sing? You need to find the singers. So if you don't have the singers, you cannot do Cosi fan tutte, you have to do something else. And I do that with the colleagues. We always try to find the best product for what the singers can do. Then you start preparing the singers for auditions.
So for every role, there's a selection from the opera that is chosen that you would then perform in the audition, which happens in front of all of the voice faculty and then the opera director.
You did it well the first time. You get 7 or 8 minutes choreographic thing. You sing your song, and then I am starting to choose who I want, and I will always do that with my colleagues.
What you should do when you go into audition is you should know the whole opera. You should know what it is your character is doing. You should know how it ends up.
Hug, yeah, good, okay. So we have been doing, until last week, we have been doing musical rehearsals. Now we are on the stage. And we rehearsed today the first 80 pages of the book. Clear? Mm-hmm. Ready to start?
Yeah.
Okay. Learning the opera means not only that they have to learn their own role. You are becoming one. So son donne, ma son tali. So son donne, one leg over the other. But they also have to learn the other roles. They don't have to memorize the complete other roles, and they don't have to be able to sing the other roles, but they have to know what's going on. And you walk to him there, and you say, "Cosa dici?" Because these girls shouldn't find out that you are saying that you are playing a game with them. They have to know. Otherwise, end of opera. If I say to you, "I love you," and I need to know whether you will say, "I love you too," "I hate you," or "Get the hell out of here." Or, yeah. And so then I know, as an actor, what I have to react to. Okay, good. And then you think, well, our performances are beginning of April, so we have an ocean of time. No, we don't.
Right now we're working in Prague now, so we need certain objects for rehearsal time and everything, but most of the set isn't going to go up until we move into Ardry.
Our stage here is about 1/3 the size of the stage of Ardry.
As of right now, we are at the point where we're working on gathering props, gathering furniture, making sure all of that kind of stuff is accurate to the time period.
The sound of the music fits the sound of the language. So we have an Italian coach, or when we do a German opera, we have a German coach.
I'm helping out this semester with the opera, and I'm helping with the Italian pronunciation. There's a lot more work to be done, of course. We're only in the initial stages. We're almost at the midpoint, of this rehearsal, but the opera singers are making a lot of progress.
The hardest part, I think, with incorporating the language to the music from those sessions with Matteo is
it could have been better, to be honest.
We talk through it without any rhythmical thing according to what Mozart
on
wrote.
Ta, because there's an accent on it. Nobil ta.
And so putting it back into context with Mozart sometimes is very different. We never in my undergrad did the opera in the original language. The hardest part for me, I think right now, is just the memory, especially the Italian language. We are definitely getting the word stress and trying to sound much more authentic.
So, and then you both do ma son tali son tal. They do it most of the time in a language they don't speak.
There are definitely some that are really making good progress and who possess the musical and the linguistic abilities to excel. So.
Working like crazy, trying to memorize our lines and trying to memorize the translations and all the notes. And so it's a lot of pressure to really practice and to get everything down.
Don't underestimate the speaking of the language.
I design, and then I actually take care of the whole show as well. So I do all the building and gathering and all of that good stuff.
Shows at 7 for all of the shows.
Does that make sense?
Most of the show has been pulled from opera and theater stock, because again, we work really closely with the theater department.
I think it's fine because I think it points out the
I haven't gone in for my fitting yet. What they did for the principal female characters was order in a lot of things from other places, and they're gonna come in sometime, I'm sure, before we begin staging on Ardrey stage. I know that the chorus has been in and the men have been in to try on their things.
My assistant Stephanie and I have been working on it, shopping on the internet, pulling things like that. Since about December.
Hey guys! Thank God. And some shoes.
If you go in for your first one, it takes maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes depending, and they just take your measurements to make sure that they can pull the right clothing for you.
Yeah, check. White shirt. Check.
We're getting really creative. We're using a lot of modern clothing that we're adjusting to make into period clothing.
And I found him yesterday, and I was like...
And, it's always a good challenge of, seeing how much you can get done in a short amount of time, because there's a lot of people. It's a big show. It's not a big show, but it's double cast. You got to find stuff for 2 casts as opposed to 1, which can be challenging.
Nylons would be great, yes. Great, smooth.
And it's always really fun seeing it, and it's nice when you can do it with another person, so you get to see what they're doing too, and just see how it all works.
We started on Sunday with the load-in. We basically grabbed things from all around campus, brought them all into one area. We went to Proc now. We've got a storage unit on South Campus. And then day 2, we came in yesterday, and it was a lot of figuring out what we have and what we don't have. There's a lot of scrambling to catch up with where we needed to be. Right now we're working on installing all the doors in their flats so that we have that ready to go. And that takes a lot of tweaking just because flats aren't, door frames in a house. They're flats that are maybe built the right way, maybe not built the right way. They've got tweaks in them, they're old, they could not be square anymore. So it takes a lot of finessing.
All working very hard, and and I think they're doing a great job. So originally, we wanted to do it in the set that we had 5 years ago. But the set that we had 5 years ago had to be rebuilt. And 5 years ago there was space here where we could rebuild a complete set. And a part of the set was ready. We could store it in the space of the orchestra pit. But that has all changed because Artery has been renovated.
How's it feel? I mean, the list that I have of things to do is much longer than it should be. A big part of what happened yesterday was coming in, getting NAU used to what's happened, the lights, the curtains, everything.